Right now we're following breaking news. Multiple deaths after a pair of mass shootings in Maine, and tonight a frantic search for the suspected gunman who is still on the run. Good evening, I'm Maurice Dubois. Christine is off. Maine State Police say this all started just after 8 o'clock tonight. Multiple law enforcement sources telling CBS News at least 16 people have been killed. This is a live look right now at the hospital there in Lewiston, Maine, where even more people are reported to be hurt. This all unfolding there in Lewiston, about 40 minutes north of Portland. And here is what we know right now. Maine State Police say police were investigating two locations, a restaurant and a bowling alley. Investigators still asking people there to shelter in place, and police releasing photos of the man they believe is the gunman. Let's go right to CBS 2's Alicia Reed, live in our newsroom now with the very latest. Alicia.
Maurice, the suspected shooter has been identified as Robert Card. Now, according to law enforcement sources, Card is a trained firearms instructor believed to be in the Army Reserve stationed out of Saco, Maine. Maine State Police are urging residents to stay home and keep their doors and windows locked. This is a snapshot of the alleged mass shooter in Lewiston, Maine. Last seen wearing a brown sweater, black pants, and carrying an AR-15 style rifle.
My insides are just really sick over this.
The shooter is still on the loose, and right now there are two locations that are being investigated. With the death toll and number of injured rising, there is concern the shooter still hasn't been found.
That is a stunning number. Now, this is preliminary, and these numbers are subject to change.
There was a girl down there with 5 people, all got shot up, and they're like frantic. You know, what are you going to do?
It's not clear how many of the injured are gunshot victims. The two locations being investigated right now are a bowling alley by the name of Spare Time Recreation and Sheminji's Bar and Grill restaurant. They're about 4 miles from each other, or a 10-minute drive. Everyone is on high alert.
I've had all my friends on the phone with me to make sure they're safe. Until I told them, lock your doors, lock your windows, because you don't know what this person's capable of.
The president spoke by phone individually to Maine's governor and congressional leadership and offered full federal support in the wake of this horrific attack. Maurice.
Okay, Alicia Reed in our newsroom tonight. Thank you. Joining me now for some insight into the law enforcement effort tonight is Professor Keith Taylor, adjunct assistant professor at John Jay College, former NYPD Emergency Services Unit supervisor. Professor Taylor, let's start with what you can tell us about how law enforcement approaches a situation like this, notwithstanding that he seems to have a military background, but just the approach to begin with.
Well, traditionally, law enforcement would try to create a perimeter around where they believe the shooter is shooting people. Now they are trained to go directly to the threat and to address the threat, stop the killing. And so because this individual has the advantage of traveling, presumably by vehicle, from location to location, is trained by the military on how to use weapons of war, and is uncontained currently. This is a very difficult situation for law enforcement to coordinate their efforts, their resources, and try and triangulate where this individual is so they can stop him from causing further carnage and chaos.
I mean, talk about that. A trained firearms instructor at nighttime, military background. It's extremely difficult, I'd imagine.
Indeed. This individual, given that we don't know why this person is doing what he's doing, is a tremendous threat to individuals, innocents, who can unfortunately fall in the pathway of this killer.
And what do you make of the weapon we're looking at there, Dr. Taylor?
High-powered weapon, AR-15 type of rifle, maybe even more powerful than that. We don't know yet. It could be something that he obtained while doing military service. That is something that will be, once he is found out and once he is captured or stopped, they will look into both the weaponry and what led up to his ability to be able to use it in this fashion.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for the insight here tonight. Professor Keith Taylor from John Jay College here in the city.